Hello champions and future champions, hello Chessmood family, welcome to the third daily lesson. Here we have a Grand Prix attack against Perk defense. Let's come move by move to this position and see what has happened. e4, d6, Perk defense, and the white played knight c3, going to a Grand Prix setup against Perk defense, which we recommend in our Chessmood courses. g6, f4, bishop g7, knight f3, c6 was played, bishop c4. b5, bishop b3. And now white's plan is to go short castle, d3, queen e1, and then decide whether e5, whether f5, whether queen h4, and then f5, using this bishop, using the rook, using the knight on g5. At some point when the knight is on f6, bishop h6 is the move, removing the defender on g7. So this is overall the idea of Grand Prix attack. And now in the position black played d5. They are attacking the center, and with c6 and d5 pawns, they are going to limit our strong bishop on b3. If we take here ed5, looks like here we are winning a pawn, because here we have bishop b3 and knight c3. But now opponent plays b4 first. Include this move, attacking our c3 knight, and after we move our knight, we go a4 or e2, opponent takes cd5. Now in the center we don't have a pawn, but opponent has. Something we would love to avoid. Now after bishop b3, d5, I offer you to pause the video and think how we can continue. Okay, if you noticed that opponent rook on a8 may be trapped, if you notice this motif and so knight d5 move, it's great. Really, here we have this option to take on d5, winning a pawn, because if he takes cd5, we will take bishop d5, after which opponent cannot defend the rook on a8. However, after knight d5, here black has a resource. If you noticed it, it's even better. But if no, here I offer you to pause the video again and think, really, can we take on d5, or we might have some issue? Okay, well, knight d5 looks very good, however, opponent here has a very strong move. Instead of taking on d5, he plays here a5. And now he wants to do two things. First, he wants to play a4 and trap our bishop on b3. For example, if he go knight c3 or knight e3, back one of these moves, after a4, our bishop on b3 will be trapped. And after a5, if we take care of the bishop on b3, playing a3 or a4, opponent can already take the d5 knight, because after bishop d5, there is no pawn on a7 and the rook on a8 is not trapped. Black can play whether rook a7 or rook a6 and black is piece up. So let's go back and think again. What does it mean? So we cannot take knight d5 because opponent's a5 strong move? Well, the answer is yes, we cannot take knight d5 because of opponent's a5 strong resource. But does it mean we should give up our idea and think about other moves like e5 or ed5 or maybe d3? Okay, we can do that. But let's see if we can improve our idea of using the a8 rook, trying to trap it with knight d5 tactic. I offer you to pause the video and find that strong improvement. Okay, so we can play here a4 first. We are attacking opponent pawn chain, b5 and c6 pawn. If he takes here ba4, we will be very happy. We can take bishop a4, knight a4, or even rook a4. And now what opponent did? He exchanged his b7 pawn with our a2 pawn, and now he has a7 weakness, also our rook is open. After a4, if he allows, we will take a b5. And if he plays here b4, standard reaction against a4 move to play b4, now our c3 knight hangs, which is also defender of e4 pawn. However, now we can take the d5 pawn. If he takes cd5, bishop d5, the rook on a8 is trapped, and after knight d5 he cannot play a5, the resource he had, because after a5 there is no more a4. That's why after bishop b3, d5, a4, black has an issue. If they take ba4, they are weakening the position. If they play here, for example, d4, then after knight e2, our bishop is opened again, and it's very unclear why they played b5 and weakened their queen side. Okay, so after a4, white has an advantage. What was the takeaways from today's lesson? First, this tactical motive, trying to trap opponent rook on a8, in this case with knight d5. The second lesson was, if we see a tactic, we should not do it immediately. We should be careful for opponent resources. And in this case, really after knight d5, opponent had a5 strong move, and now we cannot save one of these pieces. And the third lesson from today's video is that often we can improve our idea, and often we can include one move and then do the same tactic. In this case, it was a4 move, including a4, b4 moves, because after a4, b4, now we can take the d5 pawn. If you are taking notes and writing down takeaways from daily lessons somewhere in your notebooks, that's very cool. If you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the lessons, that's cool too. And if you will apply these lessons in your games, it's even cooler. At the end of the lesson, I will give you a position to think about. Here it is, white to move. You can write your answers in the comments section. GM Avetik was with you. See you tomorrow.